What happens when Hollywood tries to capture the mind of a 14-year-old genius inventor? Today, we're examining every version of Violet Baudelaire from Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Let's unfold how each adaptation presents a radically different interpretation of what it means for a girl to be brilliant, inventive, and resilient. A Series of Unfortunate Events follows the Baudelaire siblings, Violet, Klaus, and baby Sunny, after their parents die in a mysterious fire. The kids are passed between different guardians while being pursued by the villainous Count Olaf, who wants their family fortune. Throughout their adventures, 14-year-old Violet serves as the group's problem solver and protector. She's an inventor who creates devices from whatever materials she can find. Her inventions literally keep the family alive. In Daniel Handler's original book series, she's the eldest of 3 orphan siblings, a brilliant inventor who ties her hair up when she needs to think. But she's not just smart, she's protective, vulnerable, and carries the weight of her parents' dying wish to look after Klaus and Sunny. Violet's intelligence isn't flashy, it's methodical. When faced with a problem, she studies it, considers her options, and builds solutions from whatever materials she can find. She's a leader by necessity, not choice. At 14, she's already promised to be a mother figure to her siblings, and that responsibility shapes every decision she makes. But here's where things get complicated, because when you adapt a contemplative, protective genius for the screen, something always gets lost in translation. The 2004 film starring Emily Browning gave us a Violet who looked the part. Gothic steampunk wardrobe, elaborate braids, and a visual aesthetic that screamed mysterious inventor. The costume design was stunning, but it prioritized style over substance. More problematically, the movie began shifting Violet's most crucial moments to her brother Klaus. Lines that established her leadership, problem-solving scenes that demonstrated her quick thinking. Suddenly, Klaus was getting the spotlight. The film industry's discomfort with young women leading the narrative showed immediately. Emily Browning brought vulnerability to the role, but the script didn't give her enough opportunities to showcase Violet's true genius. Instead of the methodical inventor from the books, we got a girl who looked inventive but rarely got to prove it. When Netflix adapted the series in 2017, they made a bold choice. They decided Violet and Klaus should be equals. Malina Weissman's Violet was still brilliant, still inventive, but now she shared leadership duties with her younger brother. This created what fans call the Inspector Gadget problem. Netflix's Violet became more action-oriented, solving visual puzzles and creating gadgets at lightning speed. The slow, contemplative problem-solving that made book Violet so compelling was replaced with faster-paced sequences designed for television. The show also modernized her wardrobe. Suddenly, Violet was wearing pink, despite the books explicitly stating she hated the color. These might seem like small changes, but they reveal something crucial about how adaptations reshape character identity. Here's what both adaptations struggled with. Violet's role as the protective older sister. In the books, she's constantly weighing the promise she made to her parents against the dangers they face. She argues with Klaus, comforts Sunny, and makes difficult decisions that put her siblings' safety first. Both the movie and Netflix series minimize these sibling conflicts, creating more harmonious relationships but losing the emotional complexity that made Violet human. Her protective instincts, the very thing that drives most of her actions, became background noise instead of central motivation. The height difference between Violet and Klaus also disappeared in adaptations. This might seem trivial, but visual hierarchy matters. When Violet and Klaus appear the same size on screen, audiences unconsciously view them as equals, undermining her role as the responsible older sister. But the most significant change was how each adaptation handled Violet's intelligence. Book Violet thinks through problems carefully, considering multiple angles before acting. She's methodical, almost scientific in her approach to invention. Movie Violet's intelligence was often overshadowed by Klaus's bookish knowledge. Netflix Violet's intelligence became more performative. Lots of dramatic hair-tying moments and quick gadget assembly, but less of the deep thinking that made her solutions so satisfying in the books. Both adaptations seemed uncomfortable with the teenage girl being the undisputed intellectual leader of her family. They found ways to diminish her authority while maintaining her inventive reputation. The most heartbreaking change was the loss of Violet's emotional depth. Book Violet cries, grieves, and sometimes snaps at her siblings when the pressure becomes too much. She's brilliant, but she's also a traumatized teenager trying to keep her family together. Adaptations softened these rough edges, creating a more palatable version of teenage girlhood. But in doing so, they lost what made Violet truly revolutionary. She was allowed to be both intellectually superior and emotionally complex. The books never questioned whether a 14-year-old girl could be the smartest person in the room. The adaptations, consciously or not, seemed less certain. These changes reveal something important about how we view young women's intelligence on screen. We're comfortable with brilliant teenage girls as long as they don't overshadow their male counterparts too dramatically. We'll give them inventive moments, but we'll share the leadership. We'll show them solving problems, but we'll speed up the process so audiences don't get bored. Violet Baudelaire deserved better. She deserved adaptations versions that trusted her complexity, her authority, and her right to be the undisputed genius of her family. Instead, both versions gave us watered-down compromises that looked like Violet but missed her heart entirely. The tragedy isn't that these adaptations failed. It's that they succeeded in everything except what mattered most. They gave us beautiful visuals, entertaining stories, and memorable performances, but they couldn't quite bring themselves to trust that audiences would embrace a teenage girl who was simply, undeniably, the smartest person in every room she entered. So which version of Violet resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which adaptation you think captured her brilliance best. This is Ladies First, watching women in movies, where we look closer at women's stories, their struggles, and the strength behind them. And if you enjoy breaking down how adaptations reshape our favorite characters, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. See you in the next one.